but no way to test with that, so we'll be adding that in 4.1. Also, new support for SQL script execution. We've had that in the past, but now we've unified that, adding in some more annotation-driven support for tests as well. There's a new bootstrap strategy. I think I'll talk about that in a minute for testing, aimed more at hardcore developers, architects, and third-party framework implementers, but something that's new there as well. And another feature that's been asked for years is programmatic starting and stopping of transactions within tests. So I mentioned this before as well. Web application context, we'll be adding in a Groovy web application context in 4.1. If you see these numbers here, it's meaningful if you're interested. This is from the JIRA issues, SPR for Spring Core Framework, and the JIRA number. I've listed that alongside a lot of the features here that you can check up on and follow the progress for if you'd like to. And I'll make these slides available on SlideShare so you can have access to this later on. Static resource handling, we'll take a look at that in detail in a second. Also, we'll be adding a new WebSocket scope. So in the past, we've had things like request scope and session scope for web applications, things like step scope in Spring Batch. And now with WebSocket in 4.0, we're adding a WebSocket scope in 4.1. This static resource handling. So what are we talking about there? We're not talking about dynamic resources like a JSP page that gets invoked on the fly and defines some HTML for you. We're talking about things like JavaScript and CSS and images and stuff like that. A lot of times, you don't want to just have that in your war. You might want to pull that out of a jar file, maybe have it versioned somehow. Maybe some other team provides the JavaScripts. Maybe you have some needs to have the stuff compressed, gzipped. Maybe you have needs for like minifying the JavaScript, etc. You have some frameworks for that. And now we have explicit support in Spring for that. That's actually already in the 4.1, so in the master branch if you want to check that out. There's a new resource resolver API for doing exactly this. So basically you can resolve internal static resources, for example, from the class path, and you can also resolve